Hello, I'm John Graham, and I wanted to welcome you to another Clear Talk at Solutions 360. With me today, I have Tim Archambault. He's a senior sales executive here at Solutions 360. We're going to talk about some of the common challenges that systems integration companies are facing this day and age. So Tim spends a lot of time talking with prospects. He has what we call a discovery call, which is really going over what a lot of the issues are that companies are facing, and then he comes up with some ways that we might be able to address those. So I wanted to welcome Tim.
Thanks for having me, John.
Good to see you. All right, thanks for joining us. So Tim, um, what are some of the common challenges or the biggest challenges you see when you're speaking to systems integration companies?
That's a great question, John. Every single prospect I speak with has one common goal, and that's to improve their business, increase revenue, and reduce costs. Um, and one of the biggest challenges that's preventing them from doing that is getting the data out of their systems so they can make really smart decisions that are going on in each of their departments and overall their entire organization.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. What do you find as far as you're talking to somebody, how many different systems do they typically have that they're struggling to manage this data back and forth?
Yeah, so that's normally the biggest problem that's preventing people from getting the data that they want to have quickly. Um, it's normally anywhere between 5 to 10 different systems that I tend to see out there. And the biggest problem with that is you don't have anything connecting those systems to get the data that you want, at least not timely. So, for example, you might have a Salesforce.com or a HubSpot type of CRM. You may have a Monday.com, or maybe even you're using spreadsheets for your project management and your inventory. And then you've got another tool, let's say a QuickBooks for your accounting. So everything's in a disparate system. You have lots of different tools. And then in order for you to get the data that you want, you literally have to go out to each one of these and export all of the data and then blend it together to get actionable reports and dashboards.
Yeah, that's just listening to you describe that sounds like an awful lot of effort, and pretty risky as far as what kind of problems can be inserted in that process. In my experience, I've talked to a lot of people, and it almost is always the common denominator is a spreadsheet that amalgamates that type of data. And I know I was talking to a prospect last year, and they had a great spreadsheet. It was really powerful. They were using it for estimating. And I think they were about 10 months in on their year and discovered that there was an error in the spreadsheet. And it was a $500,000 error to that point. So they were behind the eight ball just starting that way. So do you find anything else that people are using as far as spreadsheets or some different types of integrations and whether those are successful or not?
Yeah, so there's really three options that I view. And the first is keep on doing what you're doing. You've got spreadsheets that you're pulling out of information. The second option that you have is investing in some sort of business intelligence tool. And there are things like Microsoft Power BI and Tableau out there that help you bring those data sets together and really help you automate them. And then three is having a comprehensive ERP solution that brings in everything together as part of your business process, and it automates it automatically because the data is already under one hood. So those are the three options that I tend to see available for our integrated partners.
Right. Now, obviously, the latter of what you described is what we offer to the marketplace. So what do people say when you start describing how we solve that issue with that sort of unified industry specific system?
Most of the time, people don't believe that it can happen. It's just too good to be true to have everything under one hood, readily available, have dozens of reports and dashboards right out of the gate when they do an implementation with us. So it's a shock for them that there's something out there that can help them with that piece. And that really, for a lot of people, gets us starting in the demo process because that's exactly what they're trying to solve. And we do that. So, John, you've been with the company almost 25 years. You've gone through a lot of implementations yourself. What are some of the results that you've seen from companies adapting and adopting these lifetime reports and dashboards that Solutions 360 offer?
Yeah, that's a great question, Tim, and there really is not one single answer. Every organization has a different experience. So, one of the things we do early on in a project, and it's a fairly new exercise for us, is really spending a lot of time figuring out where a customer is at, what's their starting point, what's their maturity level. Obviously, you get into a bigger organization, multi-branch, professionally managed. An ERP implementation isn't, even though it's a big exercise, it isn't new for them. So that it tends to be a much better result more quickly versus a smaller organization that's growing rapidly and they've got those multiple systems that you were talking about. And they're going through not only a change of systems, but a change of their entire culture and the entire way of how the company operates. And that can take a little bit longer. So we always talk about spending, the project or the software implementation is just the beginning of the journey. We take that really seriously. So some customers may not, they have adopted the software as well right out of the gate. So we spend a lot of time with them. But usually within about a 6-month period, they really are starting to reap the benefits of having everything in one place. And you talked about a little bit that single version of the truth, getting rid of all the drama as far as management meetings and discussing what spreadsheet is correct, giving them meaningful information in a way that makes sense for a systems integration business is a game changer for how they operate their business. So that's really exciting. So they end up with a really good result. It's just a matter of how long does it take for them to actually ingest everything and manage that change within the organization. All right, Tim, I know in our sales process, you work with a prospect and they choose to partner with us, and that's not the end of the relationship. So even though you're out getting new business for us, you really do have a vested interest in the success of our customers. So I know you check in with them during the implementation and have an ongoing relationship with them. What can you tell me about that journey from meeting them for the first time, having a discovery call, really trying to figure out the challenges they're facing all the way through to their living their partnership with us?
Yeah, so great question. And a lot of times when I speak with, our partners that have gone through an implementation, there's one thing that's consistent, and that's it was a lot of hard work, but it was worth it. So, it's not an easy task, but at the end of the day, you're going to be running your business much more effectively. And the reports and dashboards are just a piece of the implementation that are going to help you run more efficiently. We have a full page of testimonials where we've got people that will say, on live camera for all of you to see that this is a complete game changer. It's one of the best decisions that these presidents and CEOs and other leaders of their organizations have made for their business. So we do have tons of testimonials, and if you'd like to learn more, we'll share a link in this description as well.
All right. Thank you, Tim. I know from my experience at almost a quarter century here, that is one of the most fulfilling things that I have in my career is really being able to help organizations run their companies better, seeing better results, and I'm really proud of what we deliver that way. So I wanted to thank you for spending your time with me today, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for having me, John. Have
All
a great
right.
one, everyone.